Alright guys, so we're here at an archery shop and I'm going to show you all how to DIY how to tie a D-loop. So first thing you want to do is make sure your bow is level. So I got a level right here and the bubble's in the center. And I do have this bow on a vise. So and then we got our arrow that you want to make sure you have the arrow that you're going to be using. You want to make sure this level up here, make sure that bubble's right in the center. So we get that center, make sure they're both level. About there, and then we're going to mark the back right in the center. Alright, then we're going to take that off. Alright, so the next thing you want to do is get your D-loop material. So this is about 4.5 inches. And what you want to do is after you cut the loose end, you want to kind of tap that down a little bit. It kind of flowers out. Let's get that aside here. And then you want to melt that just real lightly till it all kind of fizzles down a bit. Right, hot there, and then you squish it. So you have a nice big head on there, and then you do the same thing for the other side. Alright guys, so now that I got that centered here, we're going to get our D-loop actually tied. So let me grab that here. Alright, so the first thing you want to do is make a loop like that, and then go around the back side and then put both ends through it. And make sure that each end is on the side that you first made the loop with. And then if you're tying the top one first like I am, you want to make sure the top side of the one you put in is shorter so it goes all the way up against that loop. You pull it semi-tight like that. And so you can see how that's tied. The loop kind of came around the back. So on the other one it has to be opposite, so it has to come around the front. Alright, so now we're going to tie the bottom. So what you're going to do for this one is you're going to take your bottom string that should be hanging off. Your top one should be tight and up against that mark. And that mark is actually kind of getting not quite on there. Lighten that up a little bit for you to see there. And so you put this back end through there, around behind the string, and then you put it back through like that. You go down and around, and don't worry about this, how much slack is here. Around, and you go through this, the loop that you went down and around, you go through the bottom portion of that. Right there. So then you pull that somewhat tight. I got my pliers here. Pull that tight, and also make sure that there's enough room for your knock, but you don't want it. You do not want to put it so it's tight, but you also do not want it loose, too loose. It should be not be able to move once because you want to have consistent shots. So you want to have it a little bit, just a little bit. But not, if it's too tight, when you pull back, your arrow will be moving around and it'll just be like up in the air because it's pulling it so tight. So you want to have that like that. Once it's, you got it where you want it. Take your pliers. I got special D-loop pliers here. So put the end here. You just pull that tight. Just like that. That should be good. And make sure that this is opposite to how this one was. Like that. And we'll go shoot. And make sure the first time you shoot this that you do not draw it toward your face. Because if this happens to pull out, if your heads aren't big enough, you got to make sure your heads where you burned it are big enough. If they're not big enough, they'll pull through and you'll get smacked right in the face. So now we're ready to go on the range and shoot this thing. Also, another thing, when you're putting your arrow through here, you want to make sure it's lined up with your threads right here. Alright guys, so now we're going to shoot this for the first time here. So put your arrow in and make sure it's the same every time. How many pounds is this, Jeremy?
Read the bottom one.
55 to 70, that helps.
Okay.
So somewhere in there. So drop down.
It's probably 70.
It's good. Didn't pop, so. And this draw length is way too long. That is 70. Alright guys, thanks for watching. Please subscribe, like, comment, and keep an eye out for new videos. We're hoping to get videos out every couple weeks or so, yeah, stay tuned.